conceptual perspective, things people talk about a desire to be successful. All of the elements they think, intelligence, expertise. Hey, how much am I willing to give up and commitment, and are not committed to the struggle, acquiescing to the struggle, they're committed.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. It's Sunday morning, so this is Sunday morning inspiration. I'm going to talk to you briefly, hopefully inspire you in areas that you aspire to reach high levels. As always, what I want to do first of all is encourage you, if you haven't gotten the last two books, which are Critical Mass, my 20th book, and I Am, The Power of Declaration, Personal Declaration, my 21st book. There's one link you can go to, which is the Critical Mass link in the description box, no matter where you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Periscope, whatever you're doing, you can click that link, go to the site, and you can either order the book, Critical Mass by itself, or you can order the bundle that includes I Am. I'll be adding an individual link to purchase I Am solely for those who desire to do so as well. Or you can just navigate on the site and go to the page where you can get I Am. If you're interested in working with yours truly on personal development in any area of your life, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's your marriage, whether it's finance, you're looking to take your life to the next level and you want to find out what it's like to work with me, you can actually get a free 30-minute breakthrough session by completing the questionnaire that's also in the description box, and then sending that in to the support team, who will then schedule you with a consultation with yours truly. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on. It's Sunday. I've put a few notes together, what I want to talk about. Not going to be long. I'm going to move through this, hopefully leaving you with something that will definitely inspire you, encourage you, and give you a sense of direction. I found that, early in my life when I was looking to people to inspire me, I never needed motivation. And I still say that today. If you need someone to motivate you, there's some other issues. See, most people are motivated, but they're not inspired, encouraged, and they don't have a sense of understanding what's the next step. And so they kind of sit in an idling position, motivated for something, but not really knowing what to do. My whole thing is to inspire and instruct. In other words, inspire you to take action, and then sort of give you some things that you can take action on. You need actionables in order to move forward. A lot of people will get you hyped, and then you're still trying to figure out what direction to go. It's good to be hyped. I like, touching certain emotional cards for the sense and purpose of really truly making the memory of the experience stick. And the more emotionally engaged you are, the more it imprints upon your mind. But if there's nothing there that says this is your next step, or this is something you can work on, then it's not a whole lot left to do from a perspective of actionables. So what we want to do is, what I want to talk to you today is about, first and foremost, build a life instead of simply looking to build a business. Now, that could mean a bunch of things, and it can be adjusted and fitted for anything that you're working on, whether it's a business, whether it's your finances, whether it's your marriage. Build a good marriage in the process of building a life. Build a great business in the process of building a life. Get your finances on 10 in the process of building a life. None of those things should be your primary objective. They should be means through which you construct and sustain this life that you're building. You are designed to live, and to live at an optimal level. And so that should be your focus. You should be living, and in living, you are impacting other people. You are aiding, assisting, and helping other people live lives that are at a higher level than they were when you came into their periphery. So The first thing is we want to focus on, okay, yes, I want to build a good business. Yes, I want to improve my marriage. Yes, I want to be a better parent. Yes, I want to advance myself in academia. But I'm doing all of that in the course of building the greatest life I could possibly build for myself. Because if I build this great life, I'm going to have a great impact. And that's your goal, to be an impact in this world. That's your purpose. In whatever way you're gifted to do it, you are supposed to have an impact. You are supposed to be a catalyst and a conduit of change and empowerment for people who come in contact with you in whatever way that is, whether it's social media, whether it's personal, whether it is in someone else sharing what they learned from you. That is extremely important. Okay, so I'm going to go through 5 things that the extremely successful, whether it's in money, whether it's in impact. I'm really at a point in my life where I understand the importance of money. So money, there are money goals, but that's not at the top of the priority list. Top of the priority list is the impact I'm having. So I measure myself more by impact than I do by money. I've learned that if I am having an impact, if I am making a powerful impact, then I'm also making money. And so I gear it that way. I'm building something that will outlive me, and that's my legacy. And so in building that and impacting others, I also generate revenue. So the first thing is be an avid reader, be a committed reader. And I will argue with you first and foremost, just from a sense of observation. Have you ever met a person who early in life just committed to reading, an avid reader, a person who loves to read and just reads anything you put in front of them, and they're not successful as an adult? Well, let me help you out a little bit. Study of successful people shows that in comparison to the average person, successful people are significantly more committed to reading. For instance, the average person in America reads 1 book a year. Those who are considered successful read 3 to 4 books per month. On average, over the last 15 years, I've read 100 books per year. I have a system through which I do it. It's a commitment. It doesn't even seem to take away my time because I found ways to fit it into my commitment to discovery every day. I have to learn something every day. That's a commitment. Well, that requires reading. So I can learn a lot by saying, okay, this is the book I'm going to commit to this half of the week. I try to read 2 books per week. And they span the gamut, but it's always going to be something I'm interested in, something I'm passionate about. And you know, sometimes it may be a reread, whatever, but my goal is to read something and learn something every day. And so I commit to 2 books a week. And that keeps me on this thing. I started this thing as something that I heard that John Wesley, when he was in the process of developing what would be the ultimate concept of the Methodist movement, which ended up being the Methodist Church, that he committed to reading 100 books in a year. He did it once. And so I did it and decided, you know, that was one of the fastest, most powerful growth spurts I ever experienced. So I said, man, I'm going to do this every year. You know, it may be a few years that, you know, I maybe fell maybe down to 98 somewhere, but it's always very close. And most of the time it's above, because I'll have the books I'm committed to, and then I'll come across something that these books lead me to that I'll pull and I'll read. And so it always ends up being somewhere around 115, 116, or whatever. And it's possible, but you don't have to read 100, but on average, the average person reads about 50. The average person who is successful, the successful person reads about 53 to 4 books, anywhere from 36 to 50 books a year. And that's something that you need to be. So commit to reading. Reading is an avenue to personal development, intentional growth. You get to choose what you're feeding your mind and how that's going to impact what you're becoming. Remember, you don't get what you want out of life, you get who you are. And so if you're not happy with what you're getting, you have to change who you are to expand the capacity you possess to have what you desire. The next thing is to take bold bets. Oh man, now this is crazy because it moves against everything that the natural social order instills in our children early on. They take the desire, the imagination, the creativity, and the inherent ability to take risks out, and they introduce the safe way, the safe idea, the safe concept, the safe mindset. So we don't take bets, we don't gamble. We're highly risk averse. We never go after something that may put us at risk, and we never truly achieve anything that could be defined as exceptional or extraordinary, because all those things are on the other side of risk, or the other side of pain, the other side of fear, the other side of anxiety and struggle and stress. And we have been trained to avoid that at all costs. So the moment that it starts to feel uncomfortable, we back up into our corner of comfort and we live our lives on that particular platform of comfort, and we never ever sit up and find our space, because it takes bold bets to win. If you look at every person that you look at and you consider successful in life, you can point to at least one time, and multiple times for most, that they took calculated risks, which you could call bold bets, and they went after it. And what you're also going to find is they failed probably more times than they succeeded, but because they take such bold bets, those few times that they succeeded canceled out the failures and produced a life that people are talking about that don't even know them. You have to be willing to bet on yourself. And betting on yourself isn't taking the sure route. Betting on yourself is saying, I know deep down inside, I got something more to add to the world than what the world sees right now. I have something more to add to the world than what I've been able to produce to this point. And I'm going for it. And it's in that you're going to have to embrace failures, because you're going to have some failures. You're going to try something and it doesn't work the way you tried it. You're going to have to make some adjustments. You're going to have to make some moves. You're going to have to make some new contacts. You're going to have to do some things. That's a part of the game. Failure isn't final until you quit. These little micro failures that you go through in life are teachers. They teach you what not to do. They teach you what to do. They teach you what works and what doesn't work. It's a process of growing and development, and it is absolutely necessary. Those who avoid failure at all costs avoid greatness at all costs. Okay, see challenges, number 3, see challenges as opportunities. It's all about perspective. Because here's what I've learned, and you've heard me say this before. Here's what I've learned. I've learned that you cannot avoid the challenges of life. I've learned that you're not going to circumvent life's vicissitudes, that there's going to be disruptions, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be disappointments, there's going to be frustrations, there's going to be moments of delay. That's a part of life. You're not going to circumvent the struggles of life. There are going to be challenges in life. So if you see your challenges as obstacles, you're going to have problems breaking through it, because you've given power to the obstacle. But if you see the challenges as opportunities, your entire approach to the challenge is different. You're approaching the challenge, looking for the opportunity within the challenge, means that you're actually embracing the challenge, not running from it, not fearing it, not trying to get away from it, but understanding it is in approaching and addressing and attacking the challenge that you rise above the obstacle. Take number 4, take care of your body and mind. I heard Warren Buffett make this analogy, and to me, it's like the most powerful analogy that you can come up with, because most people have some sort of relationship with this particular topic that he makes analogous to the human body and mind. He said, what if I told you that you could write down whatever car you loved or wanted, and that when you woke up in the morning, it would be parked in your driveway and with a bow on it, you could have it. And everybody's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he says, but there's one condition. And everybody's like, okay. The one condition is, this is the only car you will have for the rest of your life. How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to treat this vehicle? What are you going to do? And the consensus is that if it's the only car I'm ever going to have, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to drive it well. I'm going to make sure it's well maintained, that I use the most premium fuel. I use synthetic oil that takes care of the engine I get the tires. I mean, just really take care of that vehicle. And then Warren Buffett says, well, the truth of the matter is that you're definitely going to have more than one car over the course of your lifetime, but you're only going to have one body and one mind. And it's like, well, so what are you going to do with this one body and one mind? You're going to have to take care of it. You're going to have to exercise. You're going to have to eat right. You're going to have to think right. And I emphasize the idea of thinking right and speaking right above eating right and exercising. Exercising and eating right is immensely important, but poor thinking will produce anxiety. Poor thinking will produce stress. Poor thinking will produce anger, bitterness, hatred. You can literally cause more damage with your thinking than you can by not exercising and not eating properly. Your thoughts have way more influence on your health than those two. Not saying that they're not important, but I'm telling you that your thoughts and your thinking transcend what you eat physically and how you exercise. That's been proven scientifically. So you've got to protect your body and your mind. You've got to spend time cultivating a right framework for thinking positively, for thinking with a state of power, with understanding that there's absolutely nothing that you're going to face in life that you cannot overcome. That's immensely important. Finally, and this can't be stressed, and this isn't something because it's last that doesn't carry weight. This is like the thing, and it's simple. Treat people with kindness, concern, and care. Be nice to people, especially your employees. Why? Because in building a business, your employees are the business. Your employees, I mean, your product isn't the business. Your service isn't the business. Your inventory isn't the business. Your building isn't the business. Your genius isn't the business. Your business is held together by the people you bring in to carry out the vision. Your employees, the people who will be in direct contact with your client, with your customer base, with your target audience, are the ones that make your business. If you lose the employee, you lose the business. Treat them with kindness. Treat them with a concern that is focused on what matters to them. Create a workspace in which they can thrive. Create a workspace in which they can expand. And here's one that's hard for people to do. Create one in which they can see their own vision and develop the courage and the audacity and the tenacity to go after their own vision. You want to birth new entrepreneurs out of your business, not keep them under your thumb and keep them under your control. You want to be birthing people that will go out into the world and express your genius through their gifts. You didn't hear that. When you're truly successful, you will literally sit out and birth people that will go out into the world and create and do things that will be representative of your genius, but they will do it through their gifts. Many of them will become greater at certain things than you are. Many of them will transcend what you've been able to accomplish. That is a measure of your success. Your success is not just going to be measured in what people can see directly in your life. Your success is going to be measured by how you touch the lives of others. Be kind to people. Be considerate. Be concerned. Show care. That is the greatest legacy you can have, is that you thought beyond yourself, that something more than you mattered to you. With that being said, look, I'm going to shut out. I told you it wasn't going to be long. I just needed to touch bases with you, but this is where it begins. This is where it starts. This is why it's so important. You have to be in a place in which you are practicing the basic fundamentals of success. Be a good reader, take bold bets, take chances, take risks, see challenges as opportunities, take care of your mind and body. That's going to go a long way the longer you live. Treat people nicely. Man, I could talk about this one all day. Treat people with kindness, care, and concern. One of the most beautiful things about my wife is the way in which she cares for other people. And these people, she don't have to know them, not personally. just know that they're going through something. Just know that they need something. And there's this inherent part of her that feels. That's called empathy. The ability to put yourself in someone else's place and feel what they're going through at a level that drives action. Not just saying, oh my God, I'm going to pray for them when I get home. No, what can I do for you? And then if you've got somebody working for you or with you, remember, the people who are working on your vision with you are working on your vision for you. They are literally the representation of the vision. They are the representation of the company. They are what people are going to see. They are who people are going to come in contact with. How you treat them is going to be expressed in how they treat the people that are coming to your business. It's not going to be the quality of the product, the quality of the service. Yes, that's important. It's going to be, what was my experience like when I dealt with this company? And that's going to be determined predominantly by the people that work for you. But treat everybody with kindness. Treat everybody with care and concern. There's so much that comes out of that. Too much to talk about today, but that's it. Like I always say, live your life on full so that when it's time for you to leave this place, you die on E. That should be the goal of everybody. That when I leave this place with no untapped potential left behind. I refuse to take potential and capacity to the grave with me. I'm going to live every day on full, giving, loving, working, sharing, and being the best I can possibly be at every given moment. I am going to fill my space. That's what I'm challenging you to do. Fill your space. On that note, I'm out here. You guys have an unbelievable day. Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here. I hope that you guys are off to a great start as far as your week is concerned. I hope that you are coming off of a good week where things went well, were profitable, prosperous, and productive. Even if it wasn't, make a recommitment this week, make the necessary adjustments, and get back in the game. This is a marathon. This is a game of perseverance and resilience. It is about making the necessary adjustments. It's about remaining committed and finishing what you're starting. Not everything is going to go your way. That's something that you're going to have an understanding of and be okay with, because things simply happen. Nobody's perfect. No situation is perfect. There's always going to be something that you're working against. That is a part of the process. You have to prepare yourself to be in process. You have to give yourself permission to be in process. The moment that there's nothing wrong with the pursuit of perfection. But what you have to understand is the pursuit of perfection is the pursuit of completion. And in the pursuit of completion, you are going to be always moving towards it. When you're complete and finished, you're done. That means you finished your work. That's the end of the game. That's when you shut it down and you call it a wrap at the end of life. When you look up and you are able to read the pages of your legacy that you've built, that you're leaving the world, that's when you reach perfection, is when it's done. It's not about everything being absolutely in alignment. Perfection is completion. It means that what you started to do has been absolutely done to its fullest. There's nothing left to do. And so you're pursuing perfection, but perfection is a far way off. What you're doing is you're going through the process of achieving perfection. And in the midst of that, you're going to have disruptions. You've got to be okay with that. That's just simply the way it is. I'm going to be brief again this week, but I just want to hit something home. There are a number of different things that are at the top of the list, say the top 10 reasons why people fail at business. And what I want to talk to you about today is definitely in the top 5. And it's an unwillingness or an inability to invest in oneself. And when I say that, I mean in every way possible. investing time, investing energy, investing effort, investing capital, currency, and resources into yourself. I see people all the time attempting to fund business ideas that they have not invested in themselves. One of the things that an average venture capitalist or angel funder or someone that understands what investment in business and venture is, one of the things they're going to look at, how much have you already put in of your own resources? Whether it's time, energy, effort, money, they're going to want to see what's invested. Just the idea alone is not going to attract true investors, people who will put in the money necessary to fund your idea. There's money out there. There's always capital out there. There's always resources. And I tell people all the time, your number one resource is your resourcefulness. It's not the money you have in the bank. It's not the people you have on speed dial. It's not your potential investors. It's your resourcefulness, the ability to know what you need and find a way to get it. That's going to be what holds you together. That's going to be what provides the confidence to create calmness in some very hostile and volatile situations as you're trying to work this thing out. It is a process. But the thing is that most people want something, but they don't want to invest in it. I tell people all the time, what I see with most people is they have a wish list versus a list of goals, aspirations, and benchmarks. And what's the difference between goals and wishes? Goals are something you look at, you measure the cost, and you pay the price. Goals are something you sit up and you say, okay, I'm going to have to put this in. I'm going to have to invest this. I'm going to have to take this much time. I have to do this. Then you pay the price and you reap the reward. A wish list is is a list of things people want but are not willing to pay for, not willing to put in the work for, not willing to be committed to. That's a wish list. It's just something on paper that looks nice, and it will be fun if you were able to do it. It'll be great if you were able to have it. But the truth of the matter is you're not putting in the work. You're not investing. You're not putting skin in the game. And then you'll turn around and want people to support something in which you have not supported. Sitting up and saying you want to do it, sitting up saying that you're good enough to do it is not enough. You have to be able to put in the work. You have to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to take some of your own paper and invest it in yourself, invest it in courses, invest it in material, invest it in inventory, invest it in whatever it needs to grow you. You're going to have to invest in yourself at some point in time. You're going to have to become better than you are, because you have people out there that are competing for the same market, and you have to have an understanding of how you're going to establish and distinguish yourself in the market. You can't go into a market and think just because you're offering something that people will automatically gravitate to it. So you got to know how to brand. You're going to have to invest in your branding, in your marketing campaign. You're going to have an ad spend. I don't care what it is you're doing. Organic business is great. It's a good supplement, but primarily you got to have a tried and proven method of driving business to you. And then you got to have a tried and proven method of retaining the business, because that's business longevity, not conversion, but retention. And you have to understand that conversion is turning someone that's not a customer into a customer. Businesses live off of retention, taking customers you have converted and retaining them through developing relationships with them that create what we call trust. And that's where you get your customer loyalty from. It's in the process of knowing how to do all of these things, but that doesn't come free. That has a cost to it. And what I see and what really bothers me is how many people want something that they're not willing to invest in. And then they expect someone else to invest in them. You are going to have to be your first investor. You're going to have to find, I don't care if you don't have a dime in your pocket, you've got to find a way to put some skin in the game. You got to find a way to be invested. You got to show somebody the effort you've put into being what you say you're going to be if they back you. That may be 10,000 hours of research and analytical processing. that says, I've literally put 10,000 hours into understanding this. I know the market inside and out. Here's my plan. This is how it would work. This is how it compares to this. I've done this work. I've put it in. And then if you've got money, you can't hold money and expect to get money. You're going to have to put some money out there, invest in some things that will bring back a reward. You've got to understand that principle. You are going to have to be willing to put money in the game, put energy in the game, put effort in the game to a point where you literally develop momentum spiritually. I know we're talking business, but you've got to develop a momentum spiritually that the universe is hearing you, that the universe is responding to you, that the universe is answering your demands. And life and the universe and whatever else you want to say will pay whatever price you demand, but it's going to have a counter demand. If you say you want this business, the universe is going to demand that you sacrifice some time. If you say you want this business, the universe is going to demand that you take some money that you might want to spend on a vacation or something else and invest it in this business idea. The universe is going to demand that you prove that you're consistently, entirely committed to having it. And then the universe is going to say, now I'll meet you halfway. I will conspire with you to produce this thing you want. It has to be done in that way. I cannot stress this enough. With that being said, I'm going to check out of here. Got so much more to do, but I had to stop by this morning and give you this. Take it at face value, take it for what it is. But I'm telling you, if you don't invest in you, you can't expect anybody else to. And there is just this dynamic that is created when you put blood, sweat, tears, and money into something you believe in. You really truly own it, and it becomes a part of who you are, and it becomes a dynamic force that moves you forward. You know, it's just a wish until you put some skin in the game. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. As I always say, live your life on full so that you die on E. Have a great day.
From a conceptual perspective, people talk about success. All of the elements they think, intelligence, expertise.
What other doors could they close?
Hey, how much am I willing to give up and commitment? And are not committed to the struggle, acquiescing to the struggle, they're committed.